पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। I welcome you all to this seventh session of Kaivalyopanishad, conducted by Shri Prempuri Swamiji Ashram Trust under Shri Daya Smriti Gita Chintanmala. Blessings to all those who are involved in this, in organizing these talks. So, this is a very meaningful engagement and spending of your time going online and listening to these classes, which will make you feel in future that you have made very good use of your time, especially those who are listening this maybe for the first time and all. We, in the last session, we took the mantra and we were looking at the Shankaranaji's Tika. What mantra were we looking at? We were looking at Sa Yesha Vishnuhu, Sa Pranaha, Sa Kalagnihi, Sa Chandramaha, Sa Eva Sarvam, Yad Bhutam, Yadcha Bhavyam, Sanatanam, Jnatva Tam Mrityum, Mapyeti, Matyeti, Nanyah Panta Vimuktaye. This is the mantra we were saying. We saw most of the mantra and we were actually looking at the Shankaranandaji's Tika, and then we were looking at the section where with this new appreciation, understanding, or with this expanded appreciation and understanding of the Brahma Tattva being the Atma, Sarvatma, Atma of all Devatas. Because it is Parichinna Shunyaha, you cannot really stop, or you cannot really say Brahma starts here and ends here, doesn't include this jiva, doesn't include that jiva, does not include this devata, or this devata is bigger than Brahma Tattvam. Like that we cannot say, because Brahma, the word means Brihatvad Brahma, that which is limitless. That is why that limitless is what we are calling with the name Brahman. Brahman is not a padartha. What is a padartha? Ghata is a padartha. It is an object. An object is called padartha. Brahman is not padartha. It is swarupa of all padartha. Okay? So while we are looking into this Tika, we were doing this section where we said that Vishadam in the sloka, which is I think sloka number 9, Vishadam, which can be taken as Avidya Rahitam, and then Vishokam. Vishadam is Avidya Rahitam, and then Vishokam is because there is no avidya, there is no Kamarahityam, and because there is no Kamarahityam, there is no Dukkha, Shoka, Moha involved because of Ajnana. That is why that samskara is not there. Samskara, Dukkha Samskara Rahityam. And Uma Sahetam also, Brahma Vidya Sahayam. We saw Uma Sahetam can be taken as Brahma Vidya Sahayam. This sadhaka, this mukshu, this jigyasu is able to see the reality. Prashantam in that sloka was Punar Uttana Samskara Varjitam. Punaruttana samskara varjitam. There is no going back to making the error of taking yourself to be just the deha, just the mana. Mind is happy, I am happy. Mind is moody, I am moody. Likewise, there is no going back to that kind of shlokamoha adhyasa. Superimposition on yourself, what belongs to your body and what belongs to your mind. That is not there. That going back is not there. Then we saw nirguna paratvena samagram nirguna paratvena samagram vakyam avagantavyam. The last few lines in the Shankaranaji's Tika for this shloka number 11. If you are following the Tika, if you have it in front of you, Nirguna Paratvena Samagram Vakyam Avagantavyam. All the words, all the Vakya can be taken Nirguna Paratvena. Nirguna, Guna Rahita, attributes free, attributes of Uma for Parameshwara or Shankha, Chakra for Mahavishnu. With all these attributes free also, you can make sense out of the whole shloka without losing its meaning, its intent, in fact enhancing its intent and meaning. Then nirgunasya api upalabdhatvena. Then the next shloka, what did it say? After the shloka which talked about Vishadam, Vishokam and all that, the next shloka read Hrutpundarikam Virajam Vishuddham. Right? Shloka number 8. So, shloka number 8 is then for that, Hridaya Pradesham Adhyastham. So, we are not going back to the shloka. We are just giving a reinterpretation of the meaning for that shloka based on our understanding which has happened between 8th shloka and 11th shloka. Right? So, Nirgunasyapi, very important. That's why I did not rush through this commentary in my last session, and I waited for this section to be dealt with in this session. Nirgunasyapi avalabdhatvena hridaya pradesham adhyastatvam aviruddham. Adhyastatvam aviruddham. So, what you are talking about, this nirgunatvam, why are you reinterpreting this shloka number 8 with or 7 with this nirgunatvam when you talked there very beautifully about Shiva and Parvati, all that? Because if someone is to argue that in that case, how can what is nirguna can be placed in the heart, hit pundarikam. 8th shloka said, bring this to your heart, right? And I also went on and on about how meditation would need an object, right? So how would you not objectify at the same time bring it into your heart? So bringing something into your heart means you're objectifying that. So when you say nirguna, then how are you trying to objectify? How are you going to bring it in your heart? Nirgunasyapi upalabdhatvena. Upalabdhatvena is a key word. Upalabdhi sthanam is hridayakasham. What is upalabdhi sthanam? Upalabdaha, labdaha, where it is obtained. Upasamipe labdaha, where in which it is closest, where it is obtained. What is obtained? Your reality is obtained. Wow. Well, let's take an example. Suppose if we see a pot at a position in space, say we are seeing the pot at a position in space which is, say, 1 meter away from me. That pot which is outside has a material, right? That pot is made of clay. You can see the pot only, you cannot see the pot where there is no clay. Pot perception is possible where the karana of the pot is there, which is clay. You cannot see the pot without clay. So, when you are seeing the karya, all that you are experiencing is the karana. You are touching the pot is touching the karana. So, you are touching the creation is touching the karana, Parabrahma, Ishvara. Okay? So, do you agree with that? I am trying to explain the word Upalabdhi Sthanam. Hridayakasham, in Hridayakasha, this Brahma, Chaitanya is obtained, I am saying. It's obtained. Although it is Nirguna, Nirakara, it is obtained there. So, that is what I am trying to explain to you how it is obtained. Okay? So, I was telling to you that the Karya is Ananya from Karana. Karya cannot exist without Karana. Okay? Pot cannot exist without clay. Now, that pot which is outside, you won't say that I see the pot, you won't say I know the pot until you see that in your buddhi, right? The pot can be outside, but when do you say you see the pot? When your Vishaya is brought to your buddhi. So it has to be in the buddhi for you to say, I know the pot. You agree with me? So it has to be in the buddhi. Well, the clay is the material for the pot. The clay is the karana for the pot. And that clay, where is it? That clay is outside. The clay is outside, but you say, I see the pot. When you see the pot in your buddhi, the nimitta can be outside, the nimitta is outside, the pot itself is outside. You say you see the pot when you see in the buddhi, while the clay is also outside. The clay is outside, the karana is outside, but you are able to say, I see the pot. So, you can say that so for that pot which you see in your buddhi, what is the raw material? What is the upadhanam? The upadhanam is your buddhi. And in the buddhi, so the buddhi becomes the cause in a way for you to cognize the pot. So buddhi becomes the material for the pot. For the pot you see in your mind. The nimitta is outside, but I am not saying you to imagine a pot. Okay? I am talking about what is already there. There is no imagination here. So I am talking about what is there and how you perceive. And when you perceive in your buddhi, then the material for that perception should be in the buddhi. Right? So the material is in the buddhi. The buddhi is the karana. And buddhi itself cannot say, I see the pot. The buddhi has to have the support of Chaitanya. Chidabhasa, Chid Abhasa, Chidvat Abhasa. The buddhi has to act as if it is Chit Swarupa by the Chit lent by yourself being by Brahman. Chit lent by the Chit Swarupa Brahman, the buddhi is able to say, I see the pot. So, in that way, in the buddhi, the perception is happening only because it is a place where there is upalabdhi, where there is obtaining of the chit tattva of Brahman. Right? So that way the buddhi becomes the upalabdhi sthanam, the hridayakasha becomes the upalabdhi sthanam. You obtain your reality in your heart. Pujya Swamiji would say, Brahman can be infinite, but the Brahman is cognized between the two temples. Two temples is right here. Two temples. It is cognized right here, which is a finite space, right? So that way we have a very special status for our buddhi and preparing our buddhi, which is acting like a upalabdhi, which is upalabdhi sthanam. That is where it is obtained. Manasa eva aptavyam. Manasa eva aptavyam. Manasa eva aptavyam praptavyam. It is obtained in the buddhi. When is it obtained in the buddhi? Shuddha, Sattva, Chaitanya. When is it obtained in your buddhi? It is obtained in the buddhi, and how it is obtained in the buddhi? What is this Brahmakara vritti? What is this thought process which can say that I see Brahman? No. It is only the Shastra only, there's an Ajnana Nivritti. The Shastra corrects the error about yourself. The Shastra corrects your notion. Please remember, all that the Shastra does, it corrects your notion, error about yourself and what you are, which thank Bhagavan, thank Ishvara, which is self-evident. Which is self-evident, it shows itself, it is self-revealing. After correcting the error, you don't have to wait for, and then you don't have to search. After you correct the error, the ever-present, ever-shining, self-revealing. Self-revealing is the right beautiful word. Self-revealing, self-evident, Atma, without free of all errors, is obtained. Okay? Tatacha dhyatva manana nididhyasane krutva yetad api upapannam eva. So this is also upapannam. Everything is consistent in the shloka number 7 and 8. If you substitute with the nirakara Brahma Tattvam for Sakara Ishvara, as it is explained there. Okay? Then, after this shloka, we are going to shloka number 12. Shloka number 12, before that, we will have to say that this shloka is again regarding the Jiva Ishvara Aikya. It is like a Mahavakya shloka. It is very similar to the shloka in Bhagavad Gita also. Sarvabhutasthamaatmanam sarvabhutani chatmani sampashyan brahma paramam yati nanyena hetuna. Nanyena hetuna. Nanyah panta vidyate yanaya. Nanyah panta we saw in the last sloka. Again, there's a reiteration. Sarvabhutastham atmanam. The Atma, which is sarvabhutastham, which is sthita, which is in all bhutas, all jivas. All that is here is Atma. All that shines is Atma. All that is revealed is Atma. All that is obtained is Atma. Sarva bhutastham. As though it is in all bhutas. Sarva bhutani chatmani. So it is in all bhutas. Sarva bhutani chatmani. Atmani, Sarva Bhutani cha Atmani. Just going to the right page here. Yeah. So, there is nothing other than Atma. Sarva Bhutani cha Atmani means there is only Atma. That's what it means. Sarva Bhutani Chatmani. Because for all, this is the Atma of all Bhutas. Atma of all the waves is water. Likewise, your Atma is the Atma for all the Bhutas. Sampashyan Brahma Paramam. So when you say Sarva Bhutastam Atmanam, then Sampashyan Brahma Paramam. Sampashyan, one who is able to see this very clearly. Sampashyan Brahma Paramam. Yati Nanyena Hetuna. Yati obtains prapti. Na ani yani yati prapti anyena ukta bodha vyatirekena. So ukta bodha vyatirekena hetuna na prapti. So just like it was told in the previous shloka, nanya pantha ayanaya vidyate is in Purusha Sukta. Here it is nanya pantha vimuktaye in the previous shloka. So just like it's told in the previous shloka, this is the way you see yourself as Brahman. You see, this is the way you understand Brahman. This is the way you understand Brahman, which happens to be your Swarupa. Let us put it like that. You understand Brahman, you understand the limitlessness of Brahman, and you see how your Swarupa is not any different. So Mahavakya like words are there. Sarva Bhutastam Atmanam. Stham, Grihastha means one who is a householder, who stays in the house, who has a house, who comes back to the house. So the Griha becomes the Adhara. Sarva Bhutastham means Sarva Bhuta becomes the place where you can obtain the Atma. Atmanam, it becomes like that, but it is not like that. See, because Atma is what? Sarva Vyapi. Atma, which happens to be Brahman, is Sarva Vyapi. There is no limitation. So when you say Sarva Bhutastham, it sounds as though it is limited. No. The Sarva Vyapakatvam of Atma has been shown by the Tarkikas. Because the Tarkikas, we have to give them credit. According to Shri Kanchi Paramacharya, it is because of the Tarkikas, the logicians, who presented Anumana, inference, as a means of knowledge. So along with Pratyaksha, perception, they were presenting Anumana as also a means of knowledge. They were specializing in Anumana. Why? Because those days Shunyamata was very popular. Shunyavada was very popular during those times of Buddhism. So the Tarkikas, using Anumana as a pramana, they established Ishvara. They were saying, they were proving the Vyapakatva of Atma by using Anumana as a pramana. Because they would say, by Ishvara as, their definition of Ishvara is karma phaladata, jagat karta, karma phaladata. There has to be a karta for the jagat, inferring that. How do you infer that? Because there has to be a karta if you see a house. If you see a palace, there has to be a palace karta. Likewise, this jagat you see, so there has to be a jagat karta, that is Ishvara. And also, we are experiencing different experiences. हम बहुत कुछ फल को भोगते हैं, तो all those phala bhoga, differences in the phala bhoga is possible only when there is a connect, when someone is connecting the phala to our karma, if not in this birth, in the previous birth and all that. So there is a karma phala. Dhata also has to be there, just like a boss has to be there to connect someone's performance with increment, with promotion. Likewise, There has to, or with demotion, or with firing. So likewise, there has to be Ishvara connecting our karma with our karma phala. It is the karma phala connection is not possible without a chetana vyakti, without a Jagat Pita Ishvara. So this is all the Tarkika Matha, and they also very clearly established that Atma is Vyapaka, because there was this Matha which is very popular, which says Atma is Anupramana. Just because they say Sarva Bhutastam Atmanam, it is in all the Bhuta, it is in the Bhuta. This Vimatavalas, who are different from Advaita Matha, who have a different take on this from the Advaita Matha, what they would do, because Atma is in Sarva Bhutastham, they say, right? So they say that this Atma is inside, but you cannot see. So which means it is the size of an Anu, a very small size, they say. But if it is a very small size, it cannot be Vyapaka, right? So it goes against the Vyapyatva of Atma. Goes against the Vyapyatva of Atma. There is also another Matha which says Atma is Deha Pramana, Deha Parinama. Deha Pramanam. For an elephant, the Atma is a big Atma. And for the mosquito, the Atma is a small Atma. For an ant, it is a small Atma. Deha Parimana, they say. So that also has been dismissed by the Tarkika, because Atma is, because of the Vyapakatvam of Atma. If the Deha Parimana, then also the Vyapyatvam is dismissed. But Atma is Vyapaka, nobody can dismiss. Atma cannot be Parichinna. Deha is Parichinna. If you say Atma is also Parichinna, what is the difference? If you say, just because you have to say Atma is Sarva Bhutastham, inside all the Bhuta, if you give a Parimana, if you give a measurement for the Atma, it goes against the Vyapakatvam of Atma. Then the Brahma Shabda, that Atma cannot be a Swarupa. That Atma cannot be a Swarupa. It can only be another Upadhi. It can only be another Upadhi. So then there will be an Atma which is Parimana, and Brahma which is Aparichinna. There will be two realities. So there's so much inconsistency will come. So we have to see. That is why you see in this word, in this sloka also very beautifully, the very next word is given, Sarva Bhutani cha Atmani. Atma, when you say Atmastham, it is Sarva Bhutani cha Atmani. It is Sadrupatvena Vidyamana. It is the Satta of all Bhuta. It is the Satta, the reality of all Bhuta. Water is a reality of all the waves. Water is a reality of the ocean. Water is a reality of the seas. Right? So, likewise, Atma is the Satta, Spurti of all that we experience. The Spurana, the Satta of the Jagat, Satta of the Prapancha, Satta of the Jiva is nothing but the Satta of Atma. Just like the Satta of the waves, the shape of the waves is nothing but Satta of water. The Satta of the Spurti, the Spurana, when the waves touch, whatever you feel, is that the feeling because of water touching or because of the wave touching? So it is the water, right? We enjoy the waves. So Advaita does not dismiss your enjoyment. You enjoy the rising sun and the setting sun. Science says the sun never rises or sets. Sun never rises or sets. So does that understanding dismiss your enjoyment of the rising sun or the setting sun? No. Likewise, this is just knowledge. We are talking about self-knowledge, and that doesn't dismiss what you experience through your pramanas. It only gives you that knowledge, so you are not carried away by your pramanas, by your indriyas and all that. Okay? So Sarva Bhutani Atmani is, it is the Satta Spurti of all that. Then Sampashyan Brahma Paramam. Sampashyan, one who is able to see clearly. We'll see what it takes to see something very clearly when we go to the Tika commentary. Brahma Paramam Yati Nanyena. So Paramam Yati. Sampashyan Brahma Paramam Yati. He is the one who obtains, who sees. Nanyena na anyena hetuna, by no other means. So which is the means then? If it says no other means in this sloka, what is the mean? What is the actual mean? Actual mean is jnatva, only by knowing. Where is that word jnatva? It is in the previous sloka. Jnatvatam mrityum apyeti nanyaf panta vimuktaye. There is no other road. Panta is panti, road. No other marga. Let us go into the commentary of this shloka. What is the commentary? Sarva bhutastam nikhileshu stavara jangameshu tishtati. Stavara, there is no exception. Stavara and jangama. Stavara is that which does not move. Stavara can be jada or chetana. The jada would be all the mountains, rocks, and all those things which doesn't have a mind. Then the stavara, which is alive, is all the plants. They are stavara because they cannot move, but they are chetana. Jangama is all that can move, all those other beings. From here, sarva bhutastam. So, tishtati, it is there. Atma is why? Atma is there in all bhutas. There is no exception. Because all bhutas perception happens in your buddhi. All the perception of something being inside, outside, everything happens in your buddhi. All that is outside, you see it in your buddhi. Otherwise, you cannot see. Otherwise, you cannot say, I see, right? So that is why we can say, it is there in all perceptions. Sarva bhutastam. So when sarva bhutastam, if we take it to be that it is in all beings, then it says Atmanam asmat pratyaya vyavahara yogyam. What is Atma? This Atma. Please define. Asmat pratyaya vyavahara yogyam. Asmat, I pratyaya vyavahara yogyam. That is Atma. Yogyam. Yogyam means that which is the matter, subject matter. Vyavahara yogyam, for vyavahara, which is that which is available for vyavahara in the terms of I. So this is not, we are not talking of an Atma which is very different from when we say I. Well, there is an error when we say I, based on how limited we take ourselves to be. But that same the same I, the error is there, but the I, in spite of the error, the I would mean yourself, thyself, Atma. Sarva bhutani cha nikhilani stavara sangamani sarva bhutani. Then again the next word, what is there in the next word sloka? Sarva bhutani chatmani. Sarva bhutani, in that in that word will be same. Sthavara Jangamani Sarvabhutani. Sarvabhutani cha Atmani. So this Atma, Chakara, Adhara, Adheya, Bhava, Vyatikramartha. So the Chakara is just to say that don't take this Atma to be a small Anu inside all beings. Then the beings will be the Adhara and Atma would become the Adheya. So as if Atma needs an Adhara. Say the pot is there and then pot space is there. So you tell me if the pot, is it the Adhara for the pot space? If I ask you if the pot, is it an Adhara for the pot space? Then when the pot breaks, the space should fall. The inside space should fall. Does it fall? It does not. So actually, the Adhara for the pot is the space, or actually the Adhara for the spot is for the pot is Prithvi, we can say. So this Atma is not like a Kunde Badhiramiva, like as if a seed, a speck inside the pot. It is not like that. The Deha of all the Bhuta, it is not the Adhara for Atma. It is not the Adhara for Atma. So Adhara that has to be resolved. That is not the way it should be taken. So we are saying Atmani Ananda Anandatmanyaham Pratyaya Yogye Ananda Atmani Aham Pratyaya Yogye. So this Atma is the Satta Spurti, as we said. It is the reality. It is a reality of all beings. All beings are beings because of Atma. Without Atma, there is no being. That kind of a reality. So that is what it means by Atman Sarvabhuta Stam also we should take like that only. Atmani Ananda Atmani Aham Pratyaya Yogye. So this Ananda Atmani is because Atma is Atyanta Priya for all beings. It is God. So why is Atma is Atyanta Priya? Because everyone likes oneself. You like yourself. You like to be the pleasing self, the pleased self. You like to be the pleased self. You like to be the happy self. So, when you like to be the happy self, then it can either be your nature or it can be something you are lacking. So, if you go to a marketing person, he would say you are lacking happiness. Here, have this pill. But if you come to Vedanta, we say you are seeking happiness because your nature is happiness. What is so contradicting? It is contradicting, right? Someone has a cup of coffee, best cup of coffee he had ever had. Then from then on, whenever he has coffee, he would compare with that coffee which he had, which was excellent. And he would say, this coffee is not as good as that coffee. This coffee is so-so. It is coming close, but not there yet, right? That's all because this fellow has had one of the best coffee in the world, say. So why I'm saying this is because when you are of your Swarupa is of Ananda, that is one of the reasons why we paradoxically also seek Ananda, not knowing that our Swarupa is Ananda. So when one is able to see Sampashyan, Samyak, Samshaya Viparya Mantarena Avalokayan. Sampashyan is Samshaya Viparya Antarena. So the Samshayas, all the doubts has to be cleared. regarding this reality. So you do Shravana, but then all whatever doubts, and then somebody would create doubt. Other matas would create doubt. When someone says this consciousness, that consciousness, then you have to also resolve that new doubt when you compare with other matas. Somebody says Shunya, somebody says Deha Parimana. So you should be able to very well ascertain what you have learnt and see what is the difference, and also place your knowledge at the right position, and then also you should be able to place the other person's viewpoint in whatever position it deserves. So that is Samshaya Shunya. Vipareya is, so the Samshaya Shunya is more of an academic way, which is required for your clarity, understanding, which is very important. But in spite of all that, the Vipareya Bhava, Dehatma Buddhi comes. So Shokamoha can overwhelm. Dehatma Buddhi can come. At that time, you don't be judgmental about yourself. When Dehatma Buddhi comes, you again bring this knowledge, own up this knowledge, make this knowledge work for you by Nididhyasana, by constantly thinking. And being alert is also part of Nididhyasana, but then you don't do it like any other normal sadhaka. Here, you are trying to be more spontaneous. You are trying to take that methodology which will make the reality more of a spontaneous expression of yourself, and the Viparyeya Bhava more of a minor aberration, and it slowly resolves also. That Viparyeya Bhava also resolves. This is Sampashyan. Brahma, Brihat, again the word Brahma, Sampashyan, Brahma Paramam, Desha, Kala, Vastu, Paricheda, Shunyam. How many times you have seen this? We have to keep saying this again and again. When I say Desha, Kala, Vastu, Paricheda, Shunyam, how about, what is a Pramana? So Pramana, what is a Pramana? So there are so many models. Pramana is Shastra. Shastra, Shabda Pramana is a Pramana for this, because it is about yourself, and the Vyavadhana, what separates yourself from your reality, is just the ignorance about who you are. So the ignorance can be resolved by knowledge. Pramana is Shastra. And then you own up. It is not a Shastric academic exercise and then you don't own up. You have to do something. No, it is not that. You own up. Brahmavite, Brahmaiva Bhavati. Then Parama Mutkrishtam Anupacharitam. See, Anupacharitam word is there. Anupacharitam word would mean there is no comparison. Because the word Brahma is also used for Veda. The word Brahma is used for Tapa. The word Brahma is also used for Veda, Tapa, and for Brahma, Atman, Brahmaji also. So here it is not all those other meanings, it is your Swarupa. Yati prapnoti, that clarity will fetch you that reality as your own. Na yati iti, then the yati prapnoti. So you can say that, the second line in the shloka, Sampashyan Brahma Paramam Yati. Or you can say, Na anyena hetuna yati. The yati can go with the first part of the second line, or na anyena hetuna yati with the second part. Like a lamp in the wall. Lamp in the wall can go, the light of the lamp in the wall can go either way, this side of the wall or that side of the wall. So, na yati, na prapnoti, anyena hetuna, anyena. So, if you take the yati with the last two words in the second line, with anyena hetuna, na prapnoti. Ukta bodha vyatiriktena. What do you mean by anyena? Ukta bodha vyatiriktena. The bodha, the jnanam, ukta bodha, the jnanam which has been given so far regarding Brahman, without this jnanam, you would not see your Swarupa as Brahman without this knowledge. So knowledge only makes you free. So Ukta Bodha Vyatirikta na hetuna na karanena. Na hetuna karanena. Now by no other means. Okay? Then, now it has been told by no other means, right? So then the onus is to explain more of this means. So with an illustration, the explanation is coming. So you see that the Shankaranji's 2 lines before the next shloka, Dhyatva gacchati ityasya vyakhyanam jnatva tam ityadi. Jnatva. Dhyatva we saw by meditating, and that vyakhyanam as over. Jnatva tam ityadi, by saying that it has to be known. Then nanyah pantha vimuktaye ityasya vyakhyanam idam sarvabhutastam ityadi. Sarvabhutastam ityadi. So the sarvabhutastam shloka is talking about how only by this knowledge of Atma being sarvabhutastam, at the same time sarvabhutani cha Atmani, only by this kind of an understanding, this kind of a Anvaya Vyatireka understanding. What is the Anvaya Vyatireka? In Gita shloka it comes Sarvabhutas, Bhagavan says, Mai Sarvani Bhutani, Matstani Sarvabhutani. So he says, Mai Sarvani Bhutani, all Bhutas are in me, but I am not in them. Likewise, he is a very paradoxical statement he makes, but those paradoxical statements are all connected, they all flow with the same, with a single meaning, and this paradox is just to make your knowledge more firm by bringing up all the doubts, all the possibilities and clarifying them. So that being the case, yada tu evam jnanam na utpadyate. So what is the last word in the shloka number 12 we saw? Na anyena hetuna. Na, the negative is there, right? Na. So when you say no, by no other means, then you have to say by what means. The what means has been told before, but here it is told by upayam, with a upaya, with a illustration it is told here in the next shloka. So we'll see the next shloka. Atmanam aranim krutva Pranavam chottararim jnana nirmatanabhyasat pasham dahati panditah dahati burns off. What is burnt off? Pasham is burnt. Bandhanam is burnt. Hare, what do you mean by bandhanam is burnt? Do you mean to say all the relationship will be burnt? No. You'll be free, not from relationship, not from association with shoka and moha, not from dukkha, but you will be free in spite of all the limitations of the body, mind, senses. You will see yourself as that free vyakti in spite of all the relationships. In spite of all bandhana, you are mukta purusha. That kind of a freedom. That you will see. The thadatmya with the bandhana is adhyasa. It is an error. There was not a time in the history when I was bound. I have been always free. I have never been bound by this deha ever. Bhagavan Shri Krishna also says. What did he say in the 12th shloka and 2nd chapter, or 11th shloka I think? He says, Bhagavan says, there was not a time when I was not there. There was not a time when you were not there, Arjuna. And not just us, there was not a time when even all these soldiers, including the soldiers on the enemy side, the kings were fighting against you. There was not a time when they were not there in reality. Okay? So, that shloka, natve vaham jatu nasam, natvam neme janadhipa, nachaiva na bhavishyamah, sarve vayamatav param. So this itself very clearly Bhagavan says, we are all not just this body, born and gone and born and gone. We have been there ever. We have been surviving so many births and deaths of this deha. So why I am saying this? I am saying this to say that kind of a clarity you will get. That kind of a clarity of yourself being free from the afflictions of bandhana, pasham, you'll be seeing yourself as. Atmanam Atmanamaranim Krutva. So this you see, Arani, during this Havan, Homa, what they do, they generate fire. They generate fire. How do they generate fire? They have something called Arani, a base. They generate fire by having a base. And that base, they would have the base, and that base is your mind. Here Atmanam means Antakaranam, mind. And then the base will be of a wood. It will be made of a wood. Then what is the next thing? Krutva, making the mind as the base. Pranavam cha uttararanim. The arani, the one on the top, is pranava, omkara. One on the top is omkara. Pranavam chottararanim. Uttararani is omkara. Then there will be a peg. That is the one which really contacts the base and drills through the base and creates the fire. So that is jnana nirmatanabhyasat. Jnana, with the knowledge, with the analysis, with the inquiry, with the vichara, you churn. That is the one which is contacting the base, which is your antakarana, which is your mind. So keep churning, keep the mathana, keep the action of mathana on. Keep your mind always in an analytical state, analytical condition, thinking about your reality in terms of the Shastra. Then what happens? Pasham, that in that process, pasham, the bandhana, the avidya, dahati, it gets burnt off. It doesn't get burnt off physically, it doesn't get destroyed even mentally. When you say burnt off, what does it mean? It is a badha. You would see all that has been afflicting you in terms of all this shokamaha is here. It's because of your avidya about your swarupa. That kind of a negation will happen. And for who it will happen? For the pandita. For the pandita. Ahamasmi Brahma, this panda, this solid knowledge, solid knowledge in the sense, it is so solid that it stands out. It is unnegatable knowledge. That is what panda means. Unnegatable, clear, solid understanding. One who has is the pandita. For him, this is the situation where there is no bandha, there is no sense of bondage because of this churning in terms of the analysis based on the Shastra done in his mind with the help of pranava. Pranava, why pranava? Because pranavasya artha is the vicharaniya. Pranava's artha has to be vicharaniya. That is the jnatva. That is the jnana nirmatanam. Pranava is the one which helps you to unfold the meaning of the Shastra. Pranava itself is packed with the meaning of the Shastra. We'll see all that when we see the commentary. Okay, so that pranava is also part of is also the handle, we can say. So with this, you will be able to see yourself. This is an illustration. And this illustration has the explanation by Shankaranandji, and the illustration we saw, the shloka we saw, the meaning of the shloka, in line with Swami Shankaranandji's commentary, we'll see in our next session. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.